Hi, I am Mickey Zeta. This is Cool Retired Women, and this is our Wednesday night Wellness for Life series. I think this is our fourth week, and each week we have a guest speaker. Tonight, our guest speaker is Sharon Rolfe. Sharon has been a member of Cool Retired Women for probably 4 of the 5 years, three or four. She's been a member for a long time, and she is a personal coach. Her specialty is retired people and encouraging us to live our best life, to shine and to be who we are, to be the best of who we are. So I asked Sharon to speak, and she said she said she'd like to do that. So, Sharon, if you want to share a little more about yourself, go ahead and then take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey. Thank you. Diane, we haven't heard where you're at. What part of the country?
Hi, I'm, oh, is it Diana or Diane? Did you want? Is there a Diana on here as well?
No, Diane.
Oh, Diane. Yeah, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts area.
Cool.
And yeah, I retired about 3 years ago. And it took me a while to ease my way into it and enjoy it. And I had to lick my wounds. I was a caretaker for the last 3 years before, and my partner passed away during COVID. So it took me a while to kind of get myself back and um, feeling good about life again. And I'm blessed. I have a lot of family around me, and retirement is good, but I'm curious to see what more I could get out of it
Good,
by listening tonight.
good.
Awesome. Who's on the iPhone? It doesn't say your name. It just says.
Oh, hi, Mickey. This is Karen Ryers. I couldn't figure out. I thought I had it on my laptop, and I think it went away. So I just got it on my phone here.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Karen. Thanks for being here.
Okay, so I am not able to share quite yet, Mickey. So if you could,
All right, let me
Yeah.
share. Let me go over here and uh
Diane, while they're doing that, my granddaughter is going to Emerson.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Yes,
Boston is a
loved it.
fabulous place for colleges. My grandson started UMass in Boston and he's thriving. He loves it. Yeah,
Okay.
it's so much to see in Boston. It's a great town it's a good walking town too.
Oh, now, and my granddaughter's going to university there also in Boston, and she's getting her master's in international relations or something. She's got this is her last year. This is funny that there's so many of us with grandkids in Boston.
What's nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Sharon, you can share your screen.
All right. All right. I like to put something kind of funny at the beginning. We tend to learn well when we laugh a little bit. So last week when I was on the cruise, I started feeling a little bit old. So this slide says someone's getting old, but that's none of my business. We're all getting old. Thank goodness, that moment when you realize you're getting old. Shock, shock. Yeah, on the cruise, sometimes when the elevators were totally booked up with people changing floors, I would hike up some of the stairs and, oh yeah, this is kind of slow, but that's maybe an evidence that I'm getting old. I rarely ever admit that. Well, ladies, I am 77 and
Wow.
I am bold enough to feel like I might be a model of help for people because I've never had cancer, diabetes, any kind of autoimmune issue, and the only thing that's kind of bothered me a bit now is just my hearing. So we can fix that with hearing aids. So I'm getting with a friend on Friday to maybe I realize I'm missing part of life with my lack of hearing. So I sometimes think that these three questions are pretty significant, maybe not to you, but maybe to people you know. People that are saying, is this all there is? If you're not satisfied in retirement, that might be something that's kind of tickling your brain a little bit. Or people that might say, do you feel like something's missing? Even this question often comes from people like CEOs that they've climbed to the top of the ladder and still seems like something's missing. Or do you actually know where you are going? Sometimes we lack making plans. Excuse me while I get another drink here. Well, I'm a spark specialist, and by spark I mean what's in your heart, what's your soul or your DNA, your inner spark. I often refer to it even as your invisible assets. And I work with boomers who want to unleash the fire that's still burning within. And all through my career, I felt invisible. We are not invisible. We do matter. And it's time to ignite the fire within. I felt invisible because I actually wanted to be invisible from a young age because of the abuse that was happening. Okay, so here's kind of where I've been coming from. When I retired, I think I was 245 pounds. And oops, I had, people get lazy with letting their hair grow. So I wore it in a ponytail or in one of those clips for several years in my last jobs. And here I'm in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's a gorgeous place. And that kind of shows some of my extra weight. And let's see, I bought this jacket, I believe, as my present to me for retiring, but as we're in our career, it's amazing how much we don't honor our health or our sleeping habits. I was working a second shift job for 4 years at Boeing, and that's when I really started elevating the honoring my sleep. So I would not go out. Well, actually, yeah, second shift. I wouldn't do anything social during the week unless it was maybe a meeting at 9 or 10 in the morning. But when I had to drive clear down to the other side of Seattle, I had to be at work at 6 a.m. So if events didn't start in the evening until after 6:30 or 7, then I just didn't go because I wanted to be in bed by 8 or on the way home by 8 and in bed by 8:30. But so my wellness, I'm bold and audacious enough to say that I could be a model of good health. And what I want to bring to you today is that my good health, a significant impact on my health, I believe, came from mental strength. So we're going to talk about mental strength a little bit. Purpose is a secret glue for not only retirement, but anybody's life. Actually, I have a couple statistics about that you could even share with your sons and grandsons, your younger generations. Self-love has been a huge part of me becoming who I am now in retirement. And it actually is a spiritual component. So spiritual health is something we'll look at a little bit. And then I did a program even this morning on emotional health and the significance of what, my program is about loneliness to resilience. So emotional health is a part of resilience. And of course, since it's loneliness to resilience, the social aspect of loneliness is part of what can bring on some of those negative emotions. So I'm so pleased and tickled with my professional picture here that I think was taken about 5 years ago. You can't tell I'm standing in a garage, and this is a secondhand jacket, but I did pay somebody to, make me look good, and I've gotten so many compliments about that. I'm just very fortunate with that one. So these purple dresses were taken just the end of September, and on the cruise, we had a formal night, and I posted the middle one here on my Facebook page, and I've gotten like over 100 people responding to that, and I said maybe I stole the show a little bit, but I certainly need that color in my wardrobe a little bit. But any questions on just kind of where I'm coming from and how you relate or have questions about what I've said so far?
Everybody is muted, but you can unmute yourself. There's a spot on your screen that says unmute. So if you want to ask a question, just unmute.
I might be able to see chats if they put anything in chats, but I'm not positive. So I'll have time for you to respond with questions. Oh, I did want to ask. Okay, so Diane told us she's been retired 3 years. 3 years is kind of a magic number for both people dealing with grief and with people kind of finding their way in retirement. So, in fact, one of the guys that responded to my picture this weekend is somebody who's been, his wife died 2.5 years ago. I knew the both of them before they were married, and they had been married, I think he said 60 years. So he's now reaching out, and I think this morning he was even saying something about, you need to come over here. I've got a couple buckets of sand I can have you put your feet in. I was telling him about how I need to have more joy. And right now that's I'm trying to make a commitment to go down here to the ocean that's just a mile away and stick my feet in the sand. It's a healthy thing to do. Okay, so I'm actually merging two presentations together here. And so this might not seem like it kind of flows together, but it's some points that I feel are important to you. As a behavioral scientist, I didn't focus at all anything on the financial side of retirement. That's usually all the training that we were getting, before we retired. And that's for your financial advisor to deal with. What they're not dealing with is all the emotional, mental, and social changes that happen. So your job actually gave you all kinds of emotional goodies, this might be a picture to take a photo of, because your positive emotions, the good feelings you get from engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment, what you got from work, when your paycheck is missing, all this emotional side is also gone. How will you feel this emotional side of life now that your job is over? And I bet you have some stories to tell about this. But for people who your kids aren't retired yet, this is a strong point to grapple with. You're not just missing your paycheck, you're missing your engagement, where you got a sense of gratitude, where you felt alive, where you were energized or had somebody to laugh with. Having a cause to be contributing to in your work. Whoop, how does that change? There we go. And meaning to me also kind of means purpose, and then your sense of accomplishment. I think the reason why so many men still work when they're retired is that sense of accomplishment seems, they're more doers. And so they tend to find projects to work on to keep themselves happy. Any comments about this at this point?
I'm going to say that that's really why I started Cool Retired Women, because I had just retired, maybe a year previous, and I realized that you're missing so much when that happens. You're all of a sudden you don't have that female connection. You're not connected to other women. Your community goes away. And you're suddenly, who am I now? Who am I? So many of us identify, like you said, so many of us identify with our career. That's who we are. That's who I was. I was a golf course owner and I was proud of that and I loved it. And that's what I did. That was my life since I was 18. So when that goes away, it's shocking. And then all those other things that you listed fall right into place. And for Cool Retired Women, that was September of 2019. And suddenly here was COVID. And now we couldn't even get together for lunch. There wasn't anything. It was a perfect storm for building an online community.
Yeah.
Doubt.
Yeah. The thing that I started bouncing off the walls about 3-4 months into this retirement, because I wanted to know, how would I know that I'm productive? There was no boss to please. Well, nobody tells you you're the boss now. We should figure that out, but doing for others, it might be another way of saying that. I live alone, so there was nobody to please here, but you need a reason to get out of bed,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and another word that's not here, I don't know why I've got a scratchy voice, is structure. Getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning is part of your structure to your day. That's now gone. Okay, so Ken Dykewell, gosh, I'm going to empty my bottle here. Ken Dykewell wrote a book about the same time. Oh, he finished it just before I wrote mine. That is what retirees want. And he's done like 45 years of research. So he has boiled down holistic retirement as having not only financial, it's down here at the bottom, but having purpose and family and health being the other pillars. So I'm going to enlarge on a couple of these, but realizing that finance is only part of it. And Ken actually put legacy as one of the 4 components of financial. And it tends to ask which one of these are more important, like your values, wishes, personal possessions, or assets. To me, financial always meant money, but he enlarged it to include the others. So, all right. So we got a test here. And under health, which basic health style describes you? Healthy on purpose, course correctors, health challenged, or lax but lucky? Where are you with your health style?
Lax but lucky.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are.
Now, I'll share that healthy on purpose.
Yeah.
And years ago, most of the ladies know this, I was a leader for Weight Watchers for many years. And I made it up, other people used it, but people don't like the E word, exercise. So we called it activity on purpose. And I kind of like this, healthy. For me, I'm 75. I love my new life. I want to live here forever. So I have to be healthy on purpose. I love that one the best.
Yeah, I think I would call myself a course corrector, because I lost 20 pounds on being on the Wild Fit diet, and I recommend it to anybody. But the first thing they taught us was to acknowledge, become aware of how food makes you feel. So a lot of people feel bloated after eating ice cream or heavy, and I did. Um, so that fit for me, and
Hmm.
I still liked my chocolate in the afternoon, so maybe I didn't lose as much or as quick as I could, but I'll never forget at the end of the course. I don't remember how long it was. I'm thinking maybe 3 months, but there had been a guy in the course that was in a wheelchair, and at the end, he gave such a testimony about how the program gave his life back, that he felt like he was within, I don't know, 3, 4 weeks of dying. And the premise of Wild Food is eating green smoothies of spinach and cucumber and avocado and celery. And I think we ate it like 2 meals a day, and then regular food for evening. But I highly recommend. Okay, health challenge. That would be when either you've had a stroke or autoimmune deal comes up. But so much of America, we just kind of are lucky by lax but lucky.
Mhm.
Okay, so then the research says 90% of Americans over the age of 50 agree that being healthy is about being able to do the things we want. Yes. Be able to travel a little bit, hike, or see your grandkids on a regular basis during each year, I suppose. I don't have kids, so I don't relate as much to grandkids, but things to consider. Okay, what steps can you take today that could improve your overall physical and mental health? That's pretty poignant. What can we do today? So I fixed a green smoothie. In fact, today I'm trying to get back in the habit of having a green smoothie 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm now, instead of eating 2 a day, I kind of make one shake and spread it over 2 or 3 meals. All right, if you needed prolonged care, who would you want to provide that care and where?
Mm.
Yeah, have we talked about that? I mean, I have told my sister 3 or 4 times that I need to fill out that lime green sheet, and I think I finally had a CPA or what do you call it? People that uh, confirm that you are who you are. Uh, yeah, I forget. Anyway, but I noticed a couple days ago I have that sheet on my refrigerator still, and it's like there's 2 forms now that I've got one covered but not the other. All right, the other thing I wanted to point out in this research is pillar 3 is purpose polls. So purpose apparently with this question is connected to resiliency, and resiliency, or I put purpose in there, is the secret sauce of both retirement and thrivers. Resiliency. So which is most like you? Resiliency is having a positive view of aging and possibilities of your future. Resiliency is social connections. Resiliency is purpose, or resiliency is all of the above. What do you think?
I think it's all of the above. Maybe,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
I think too, it's changes. I think having what is it? Having a positive view of aging and possibilities of your future. I just in this year, I mean, I've been old for a long time, but but suddenly it's like, oh gosh, I'm old. It just hits, sometimes it hits harder than other times, at least for me. So, and purpose is a big deal for me. I'm pretty much a type A person, so I need to have something that matters. I need to be doing something that matters. And that's where Cool Retired Women really saved me, because it created, I was going to say activity, but activity with purpose. So that's really important to me.
Yeah, focus.
Yeah, a focus.
Okay, so and to me, purpose also is connected to our potential. But anyway, and potential mattered a lot to me since a teenager, you know. Okay, so the research says 89% of respondents feel there should be more ways for retirees to use their talents and knowledge for the benefit of others. I heartily agree with that. I know there are some things that are coming along. AARP does some good things. You know, they mail out a lot of magazines and tabloid kind of stuff. But one of the things I picked up on the book, oh, in fact, here's the cover of it, but it has a good balance of both research and stories that are interesting, but what retirees want. And they have it on the back of some of the chapters, some ideas as where we need some help, you know, reimagining a future. And one of them that was quite interesting to me was travel with purpose, or intergenerational travel, making memories with your family. How impactful and how meaningful would they be, you know? So I'm looking forward to more things coming out in regards to using your talents and knowledge for the benefit of others. And to me, that also connects with what those invisible assets inside. Do we even know what they are? And that's where I'm mostly focused on the work I do. All right, and things to consider. What interests or priorities would give you a strong sense of fulfillment, purpose or fulfillment in retirement? And my book that I wrote, Fresh Courage in Retirement. Oop, I dropped my mouse. I keep.
Uh-oh.
I need some more equipment.
There we go.
Let's see. Let's go back. Maybe my mouse. Oh yeah. All right. So yeah, I wrote my book so it was a kind of a do-it-yourself, helping you think about what unique interests or priorities or experience and talents you have that you can use to help others. And in May, I did write a course on volunteering. It turned out so good. I used AI to do it.
AI.
I had my own outline, and then I thought, okay, well, let's see if AI can help me. And yeah, I tend to be short on words, and it restated things in using different words that often help different kinds of how our mind work, you know, grasp something. So, all right. So so going from that research, this is a presentation I gave to a group of women down in Phoenix that were working in the finance and insurance area. So I highly recommend the change I made in my life back when I was living in Tampa. In fact, I had just moved clear across the country, and my friends had said, well, you know, should you get bothered by homesickness, give yourself at least 6 months to make new friends down there. And but by 3 months, I've got this. This is going along fine. But by 4 months, I'd kind of hit a wall. And what was it? How was I going to handle this? You know, going home wasn't part of my imagination at all. So I actually did some research in a concordance, a Bible concordance, and I found in Joshua chapters 1 and 2 several verses on be of good courage, be of great courage, do not be afraid. And I actually started stomping my foot and say, I refuse to live my life based on fear. You know, and since when some of the TV ads would say, well, when you see your RA doctor, then, you know, talking about how about if I visit my AR doctor, RA doctor, because I do have a younger sister that she's probably going to die by Christmas time with RA, plus a whole bunch of other things that are going on. But she's gotten her mentally in a mind state of toxicity. She's just not, even the hospital people don't like to see her coming, and that's kind of bad. But controlling your thoughts, and I even made this sign to help me control my thoughts, that will also allow you to control your life and then create a life you desire. So mental strength is about having the ability to choose on purpose, not live by accident. So the benefits are having a life satisfaction of patience and persistence and appreciating life, a stronger character and confidence, even a better self-image and courage. And your mental strength increases your ability to overcome bad habits, stress, criticism, fears, and negativity. Any comments about this?
That it's not easy.
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
Everybody in this group knows I've made major life changes when I was 53. And I say I put myself in the repair shop for 5 years. That's what it took me, 5 years. And that was hiring coaches, hiring counselors, reading books, taking classes, because I knew one of my beliefs in life is if we don't change, nothing changes.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed to make changes. So, and that's what you're talking about here. But in learning the mental strength of it and having the ability to change on purpose, that's when you're not used to doing that, it's hard to change the mindsets and the old life patterns. Those are not easy to change. They will change. It's just takes some dedication, and that's what it took me. It doesn't take everybody 5 years, but it took me that long. So, and some people it probably takes longer, but that's anyway. That's my thought. Mental strength is once you get it, once you have it, it's the best thing in the whole wide world. It's nobody can undermine you when you finally got that mental strength and believe in who you are authentically, what you were sent here to do. So I think that's huge.
I think I've heard of, oh, excuse me, go ahead.
Good point. Oh.
Okay, one of the, I don't know what class it was. I'm not sure it was whether I paid for a class or not, but they give people something like a rubber band or one of those rubberized wrist things, and the point was to snap it when you caught yourself doing something negative to help you get the point about let's have a different choice of what we're thinking. So
that works. And the other thing I learned in a seminar was to change which arm I wear my watch on.
Oh,
and because we're used to looking at generally our right wrist to see our watch. Well, when you put it on your left wrist, then you look at your watch, and I taught myself to think it's time for a change. So
I like that.
That helped a lot too.
Yeah. So I make these little art blocks, and this is one of my favorite. I actually got this quote from the Guidepost magazine, and Dan Zadra actually lived right here downtown Seattle, and it was in this quote was in the Guidepost. Worry is a misuse of imagination. You know, our imagination, I think of as being our ingenuity. You know, we can dream stuff up. Dream stuff up that won't happen is spinning your wheel like on a hamster wheel, you know. So challenging yourself to channel your imagination in a positive way instead of negative, and to have a kitty look worried is pretty ideal. So this came in my mail just yesterday, I believe. Our research has shown that when you practice sustained elevated emotions, well, I got a slide coming up that gives a whole list of those. A host of changes takes place in your body. And it starts with the heart, the center of wholeness and creativity, where love is born. I don't know how many of you follow Joe Dispenza, but what a gift he is. He was the one, seemed like he started the line that you can heal your body. You can heal yourself. He gets you to forget what's behind you, all the history, all the stories, all the what you lived for, and focus instead of let's make decisions going forward based on love and the best of you. I don't follow him much because I don't have much wrong with me, but he's such a gift. All right, so now the key strategy in the talk I gave in Arizona was on purpose. And I think I called the presentation then "Make a Marvelous Transition into Retirement." And so a key transition is to have purpose, the secret glue of retirement. And I had on my podcast a lady that has started a Unstoppable Foundation, and somebody gave her a tip that the easiest way to have something to do in retirement is find a charity or church or nonprofit that you can do the same thing that you did in your job. Now do it for as a volunteer effort. And so if you were a CPA, an accountant, find somebody that needs some book work done. If you're a pilot, find somebody that needs things or people transported. And until you find something else that you want to do and love to try, then transitioning your activities for nonprofit is an easy way to get started. Now, the huge benefits of purpose purpose any place in your life is meaning and contentment, fulfillment, happiness, actually a sense of making a difference in somebody's life. And there's lots of research that purpose gives you longevity and better health. What a cool deal. You know, you'd rather spend time helping people than wasting it in doctor's offices, is how I see it. But I'm a little narrow-minded on that. All right. The ingredients to create your new purpose that I cover in my book is using your... Is that somebody have a comment? Oh, okay.
No, I was going to ask you about your book before we were done, of what you called your book.
Yeah. Fresh Courage in Retirement, Finding Purpose, Essence, and Fulfillment. And I make these little art blocks. I said that already, come to think of it. Yeah. So if you consider all your education that you have taken, credentialed or not, you know, life is full of educating us. Your experiences, you know, like traveling gives us such a broad array of you know, travel and even the experiences you have with your best friends, and your talent.
Oops.
It changes so quick. I barely touch it sometimes. You've probably developed certain expertise or wisdom around things, and your network of colleagues and friends and family, relatives. And now you get to add to this whole recipe what's in your heart to do. We get to work, or have a purpose, but now instead of it being all brain and brawn, it's now we get to include our heart. And I see retirement as untapped potential because we've got all this time freedom. So in back of each chapter, I ask you about 3 questions, but I also give you resources of where you might find some research, places to research, like on AARP or Habitat for Humanity. I had a guest on my podcast that told about taking your RV and go building a house, in another state. You get to travel a little bit. You're doing making some new friends and colleagues while you're putting up a house. And the only thing doing Habitat for Humanity in Hawaii might be a little bit of a challenge, but you can go to Canada and Mexico with an RV probably, and have some new experiences with taking your bed and your pillow with you. So cool. All right. So some statistics about purpose. The startling statistics about the role of purpose in our lives is that individuals with a connection to their purpose experience, and this is especially good for your kids and grandkids, 63% increase in wealth, leadership, effectiveness, and fulfillment. You learn twice as much. You're 4 times more engaged and 175% more productive. Yeah.
I know about that.
Wow. Yeah. The guys that Aaron, I don't remember his last name. There's 2 guys that have the scienceofpurpose.com, I believe it is, a website that I love this statistic because I just jumped at it. Look there. It's just what I've been saying, thinking. All right. This is an interesting slide in that when I was researching spiritual strength or spiritual health, how many of these words have a spiritual component to it?
Every one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I do for people that I especially draw on is your inner truth. You kind of know if something rings true to your spirit. And this one down here, be true to yourself. I have a book here, 5 secrets you must discover before you die. And being true to yourself is one of them. How profound that is that, let's see, the guy that wrote that, his name starts with the last name with a Z. I think it's John, John Iso, ISSO. So I was pleasantly surprised at having collected all these words that have a spiritual strength or spiritual health associated with it. And, when the last several years, it seems like we avoid talking about spiritual health, and yet it's coming back because there's such an anchor and a strength that comes from what do you believe and how does it serve you? In fact, one of the ways that I have that probably gives me mental strength as well as spiritual strength, and it stops that hamster wheel of just going around and around and around, is that I pray for 20 people as I go to sleep each night. The amazing thing is that I may not get through the list of 20. Oh, well, I'm at sleep. So that's part of the purpose of doing it, And then when I wake up in the morning, I pray again for the same 20 people. And the magic that happens is I often get little tidbits of what should I do today? Or don't forget to send this email, or you should call somebody that, in fact, I was going to bless Nikki for having taken a whole week to go to be with her friend's family that had passed away, and how meaningful that was to you, but also to them, in that I'm glad I did it kind of feeling, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it covers in some ways serving. Uh, one of my ladies in my loneliness group, she's struggling right now with, she doesn't feel like she's connecting with her grandkids, and she thinks her hearing has something to do with it, but so often she says something and it just doesn't get any response. And no, she has not gotten any hearing aids yet. So I suggested to her today that she put on her wish list for Christmas. Oh, and her reason was, the example she gave is that her niece just recently passed away and left 4 kids. And she went to the funeral, and she feels like 4 kids, they're going to need a lot of help. And how do you pick up from I think the niece was only 37. So I said, well, there's opportunities now in the future for you to serve, but you need your self-care first. Just like caregivers, how often the caregivers are depleted before their job is done, with their relative or friend. So
Absolutely. Would you go back 1 second to
yeah,
the slide? Be true to yourself, I think, is huge in spiritual strength, in any kind of strength, because we women tend to put everybody ahead of ourselves.
yeah,
And it's easy to lose sense of that we're actually being of service because we get so tied up in making sure everybody and everything is okay. So being true to ourselves is, I think it's giant.
yeah, not easy, not easy. And I just dawned on me that I should put another word on here that I'm growing in appreciation and working at. That's why the two buckets of sand is joy.
Oh,
And that was what I learned about myself on the cruise. Was I lose track of what how to have fun. It was so hot outside, 84 to 88, even at night, and so it wasn't comfortable to be out on the deck. And I'm not one to be in the swimming pool, 10 hours a day, and I'm not a gambler, and I'm not a drinker, a boozer, and that seemed to be everybody's way of having fun. So even though I'm still considering being a life enrichment speaker on cruise ships, but I have to take care of how I feed myself, I guess, on fun, because it should be fun, and yet my fun isn't the same as everybody else's. Anybody relate to that?
I can. When I was on a cruise,
Oh,
the
good.
casinos and the bars are busy.
Yeah, everywhere you go, there's an open bar, it seems like. So yeah, but how good we feel when we can stand taller with having courage. And I've started adding to my prayers how beautiful it is to have mercy and grace and peace in my life. So I think this has made a big difference in my life. So what I do for people, this is my signature sauce, and nobody tells you how to define your soul. I found one verse in Colossians, I think it's 3:16, that talks about your inner spirit, inner being, they call it. The translation I saw was inner being. And so I consider all these deep self-knowledge is my invisible assets. They're things you can build your life around and use to define what's inside of you. So using making a list of 20 things you love to do, that's a great place to start. Easy, but to do 20 of them challenges you a little bit, right? And then your personal qualities is around your personality characteristics. What about you that you feel serves you well? One of my strong personal qualities is responsibility. I want you to take my words to the bank. That's important to me. And sometimes our hot buttons tell us something about ourselves. Our aspirations certainly do. And I don't think we reflect nearly enough on our values. The thing about values is when you're not living your values and living your life in alignment with values, you're creating frustration. When being true to yourself, if you're not aligned and operating in that alignment with yourself, I think of a couple of my nephews that have kind of some anger management issues. And if they looked at their values, they might figure out why, but getting them to listen is the next challenge. So, okay, we just got a couple more pages here. So when I learned how to define my spark, it was the first week of being retired. And in fact, the class called it your essence statement. And when I finished writing my essence statement, they had us stand in a big circle and read our essence statement to each other. And as it came my turn to share, I sucked in my breath. I thought, nobody's ever asked me to define my soul before. That's what it felt like. And this is what I read that day. I am precious jewel of wisdom. I'm colorful collaborator, motivator, and learner. I've now dropped the line, I ignite synergy. It didn't feel like it quite fit, but I am tranquil, authentic, and pure inspirer. I light fires. So I want my mission, my goal is to impact 10% of the boomers to know who they are on the inside. Because I feel like when you're living from what's being true to yourself, it's a little bit like heaven on earth. It's what it feels like. Endless joy. All right. And I'm just in the final stages of finishing Rekindle Your Joy, Discover Your Spark, Rekindle Your Joy. So I don't know if you've heard of the Great Discovery platform that has all kinds of courses now being added to that platform. So I have my book out there. You can also get it on Amazon. Make Marvelous Transition into Retirement. This is free, a free course to give you a little taste of my value that I share with people. And I take loneliness and depression and being too busy or not busy enough as maybe getting you off track. And here's some tips on how to not go that direction, or if you're there, how to recover from it. And here's my volunteering course. I got the distinct feeling after recording these lessons that it would change people. There's just kind of, well, in fact, here's my preaching that I did at the beginning of this is my mom, when I think I was about 14, and I don't know what she asked me to do or what she suggested, but it was helping somebody else. And she said, well, Sharon, when you help somebody else, you're blessing them, but you're feeling good because you did it, so you're getting a blessing too. And so there's so many, I guess my tagline to this course is volunteering is a good thing because it makes you feel good. And don't we want feeling good, and all this worrying about life. So that was another AARP president of Washington State for 6 years was my guest on a podcast, and he had 9 tips that he shared as what the benefits you get from volunteering. And then I added my comments onto his comments and made this course. And AI actually helped me improve on what I was trying to say there, because I'm sometimes too short of words. All right. And then as a result of doing my book, and yeah, mainly from my book, I put all the resources that I gained over the years of doing podcasts for, senior center presentations. I put all those resources in one little book here for just $5. Kind of a guide, research guide. And coming back from the Phoenix conference that I spoke at, I wrote out 48 things that that might make your heart sing. Some people need help thinking outside the box. And that's what that little ebook is for. And the people that helped me do the image design were impressed at how much that could change people. Like following a monarch butterfly migration, or touching the water in 7 oceans. And when we were in Jamaica, a couple people, I started walking down towards the beach. We wanted to touch the beach, the sand in Jamaica. So, but it could be as simple as being somebody that takes responsibility for one of those roundabouts and keeping them healthy and beautiful and thriving. And the city might do it, but hey, I bet you could pick up one and call it your own. So these are 5 of these are already on the Great Discovery platform, and this will be out there probably by Monday of next week. All right, so you can reach me at SharonRolfe.com, or my email is Sharon@EffortlessVitality, and I have a couple pages on group pages on Facebook, Effortless Vitality and Fresh Courage in Retirement. And I even have a group for retirement well-being, and of course my book being available on Amazon. So how cool. We can see if you've got any questions and or additions to what maybe enhancing some of the messages I brought.
I have a question right off. I always have a question.
Yeah.
What is this discovery platform? I would want to find a couple of these. I've spent a lot of retirement. I'm still I raised a special needs granddaughter, and it seems like I've been trying to get away from this, but it's like it never ends. Here I am. And another granddaughter needs help in a bad situation at home with their mom. And so I'm like, where's me? I got to get out of some of this stuff, Oh my gosh. So I'm really, even though I've been retired like 7.5 years, I don't have that routine or a purpose yet. So I'm really interested in where to find some of this information, like that ebook. How do I find an ebook? You were mentioned one of yours was an ebook.
Yeah,
Amazon.
Well, it's just called thegreatdiscovery.com.
Oh.
And I might have a page here.
Okay, I'll go there.
I'm not sure what to click on here because I don't see the page. Yeah, I don't. I'm pretty sure it's open, but it's not showing on my. Yeah. So there's the beauty of the Great Discovery is that it is based on Six Sigma technology. It's any course will be. I'm not sure it's available quite yet, but it can automatically be translated into like 120 languages. So anybody around the world can use these courses, and the technology will translate, including the price for that country. So talk about explosion of specialties and training around the world is coming a reality. So I haven't quite figured out yet if there's an extra charge to have my program translated into 20 languages or comes with the program or what. But there's activities going on daily. I mean, like six or eight things happening every single day on the Great Discovery. In fact, while on the cruise, other people were saying they either have courses out there now or are working towards having courses out there.
Okay, I live in Port Orchard, by the way. You mentioned Seattle.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
we're close.
I don't get it over there near enough, near Squim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we're just a ferry ride away from Seattle area. So do you live in Squim?
Well, no, but my dad would talk about Squim every now and then because it's in one of those convergence zones that it gets like 320 days of sunshine a year.
A lot of people retire there. So
a bit of heaven on earth. Yeah. All right. Any questions or comments? Cool. You glad you showed up? I am.
Yes, and I took some screenshots of things, so I got a lot out of it.
Good. Yeah. Drink it all up.
If any, I send the recording of this class to people who did not. We have about 70 people who signed up, but different ones show up each week. So I send the recording to everybody. So if any of you, I usually send it to people who have not who did not participate. But if you want to get a copy of this and all of those, that would give you copies of all of Sharon's slides, just let me know and I'm happy to send you.
I would like that.
So Christine, did you say yes?
I said I would like that, yes.
Okay. All right, let me make a note here, Christine. Video.
I'm headed for the 100, so I'm, I want to keep all this, healthy and a model of 77 next month.
Well, congratulations to you.
Yeah.
I also want to say on the 22nd of October, Norm Chapin is doing his Facebook Live again. And he is a physician with amazing qualifications. I've known Norm for about, I don't know, 20 years, probably close to. We were in a mastermind together for podcasters. And his talk, again, is about being a caregiver to spouses or aging parents. And his big thing is learning how to help people become more independent. Even those that we think can't be independent, they can. There's just things that are required. And he's amazing. His first talk was well participated. It's October 22nd at 6 p.m. and it's a Facebook Live. So you just come into the group of Cool Retired Women at 6 o'clock, and that's Eastern time, of course, on October 22nd, and he'll be right there and you'll participate in that presentation. It's fascinating. And the other thing is that next week, Cynthia Orr is our presenter. She's our guest speaker, and she's doing her No Such Thing as Ordinary class. Some of you may have taken it before. It is fantastic. So I asked her to do it again. And so that's Wellness for Life next week at 8 o'clock. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I know we've run a couple of minutes over and we really didn't start on time. So that's part of the reason why. But thank you for being here. I appreciate it. If you have friends or family in the hurricane path, please know everybody in Cool Retired Women is holding them in positive energy and sending care and love and protection.
Some of the innovation that is happening in the senior industry is helping people with dementia have purpose.
Oh, wow.
I know a group of people on LinkedIn that are quite active in that.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, ladies, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. And we'll see you next week, if not before.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.